Namaste Gurukulians. Hope all of you are healthy, fit and fine. So welcome back to our channel Gurukul NILOKHERI, and carry this book in your hand, Flamingo. Open chapter number 4, Rattrap, which we have been going on along with it. Page number 39, paragraph number 3. So students, up to here I have told you the iron master, he had taken finally the Rattrap seller at his home, clear? And this work had been performed by his daughter Edla Wilmanson. She was a kind-natured girl. Although she was not having good features, okay, complexion was not up to the mark, but still she was having a good and kind heart, and because of her kindness, generosity, the tramp, the vagabond, the peddler, he couldn't deny that he didn't want to go to the manor's house, but he got ready immediately on the spot, right? So when he went to the iron master's house, after reaching to his home, the iron master and his daughter, both of them, they were talking to each other, and the Rattrap seller, the peddler, the vagabond, he had gone for grooming, for taking bath, and for his shaving, etc. Right? So now page number 39. This is the chapter, the Rattrap by Selma Lagerlof, right? So just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. When the iron master and Edla, both of them, they were talking to each other, immediately the vagabond, he opened the gate and he got entered in the room. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. Now he was well shaved and well dressed. He was looking like a gentleman. The valet had bathed him. Valet means the servant, clear? The servant, he bathed him. B-A-T-H-E-D, bathed means it's used as a verb. Usko nehlaya, cut his hair and shaved him, right? Moreover, he was dressed in a good looking suit of clothes. The beautiful suit he was wearing, right, which belonged to the iron master. This suit which he was wearing, it belonged to the iron master. He wore a white shirt and a scratch collar with whole shoes. In short, he was a well-dressed gentleman. But although his guest was now so well groomed, the iron master did not seem pleased. But iron master, he was not happy to have a look on his face. Why? Because this time he had recognized that he was not his friend, he was not captain of army. Who was he? He looked at him with puckered brow. Puckered means that you are having some frowning on your face. Puckered brow. P-U-C-K-E, puckered brow means frowning in aggression, right? Frowning in aggression, like whenever your eyebrows are moving in this way. My God, who is he? He is not my friend. Now, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have had a mistake. Now this time, the iron master, he started realizing his mistake. Yes, now I admit my mistake. This was my mistake. At Ramsjo Iron Mill, I mistook this person as one of my old friend because darkness was there. Just a faint light. Faint means very low light coming from the furnace. Bhatti se thodi si aach aa rahi thi, light. I mistook him as one of my old friend. Now in the sunlight, I have recognized this person. He is not my acquaintance. He is not my friend. Who is he? So, but now when he stood there in broad daylight, when the peddler was standing before the iron master in the daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Now this time it was impossible. It was not possible for the iron master that second time he would commit a mistake to recognize him, because number one, he was well shaved, number two, it was daylight, and because of these two reasons he completely recognized that that peddler was not his friend. What does this mean? He thundered. Thundered means he cried loudly. Thundered means he roared, means cried loudly. Right? He cried loudly. What is this? What does this mean? The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. The stranger, he made no attempt to dissimulate. Dissimulate means that he was not trying to show any expression. He did not want to give any explanation, because he knew very well, wo janta tha, when he would come in the appearance of the daylight just before the iron master, he would recognize me that I am not his friend. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Now this time he came to know that the mistake of the iron master, it had come to an end. The drama has completely been finished. Now iron master, he had recognized me that I am not his acquaintance, I am not his friend. It's not my fault, sir. Now he replied. Now the peddler, he replied, sir, it's not my fault. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader. I never showed myself. I didn't show myself that I am your friend. I didn't prove myself, that means I am the rich person. No, simply I showed myself as I am a tramp. I am a poor trader. I am a Rattrap seller. But I pleaded and I requested. Pleaded means requested. I pleaded means I requested. I requested and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. Forge means that the dark room of the Aramsjo iron mill. I requested you to allow me to be there in the forge, but you tried to force me to take at your mansion. But no harm has been done. But now nothing is going on to be worst. Nothing has been done wrong, sir. Nothing. At worst, I can put my rags again and go away. This could be the result for that. Suppose after wearing your coat, suit, I could have run away from there. But now I have done nothing wrong. I wanted to make you realize that I am not your acquaintance, sir. Firstly, you pressurized me. Then you sent your daughter. After that, I came over here. It's not my fault. Then, well, the iron master, hesitating a little. Yes, now the iron master, he came to know that it was his fault. So he said, well, so it was not quite honest. Honestly, it was not quite either. You must admit that, and I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in this matter. Sheriff means the police officer. Sheriff means police officer, right? Or authority. Now this time he said that although I was mistaken, but I must report to the police officer. Let's see what the sheriff, what the police officer can do in this matter. What can he do? Let me see. The tramp took a step forward. He came, the vagabond, he came little bit forward in this way in aggression and struck the table with his fist. Fist means muthi. And he just hit on the table in this way. Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Iron Master. Oh, Mr. Iron Master. Oh, rich person. Let me tell you something. How things are. How this could happen. He said, This whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. He said there, this world is like a rat trap. Like in the rat trap, we are keeping some bait inside in order to capture a rat. Similarly, this was like a bait for me, and I was captured inside. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds and pits of porks set out to drag a poor fellow. The things, whatever you are having, your richness, your Ramsjo iron mill, your property, your money, everything, whatever you are having, जो तेरे पास प्रॉपर्टी है, पैसा है, this is nothing, just like a cheese rinds, पनीर का टुकड़ा है, and bits of pork, मांस का टुकड़ा है, in order to attract a poor vagabond like me. And I got attracted similarly like a rat is attracted into the rat trap when we are keeping some piece of cheese or pork inside. I have been attracted towards these things, and I found myself into trouble. And if the sheriff comes, or if you want to call the police officer, let the police officer come here and locks me up for this and let me be arrested for this. And then you, Mr. Iron Master, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught into the trap. This is the condition of mine have become because of attraction, because of a bait. And now I would go behind the bars, I would be arrested. But Mr. Iron Master, listen to me carefully. The day is not far away when you would be attracted towards one of the baits and you would find yourself in a big trouble. This is going to be happening with you as early as possible, Mr. Iron Master. Let me see. Then the Iron Master, he began to laugh. He started laughing loudly. That was no so badly, said my good fellow. This is not a wrong perception. Oh, my dear friend, you are right, I think. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve. I think so. Sheriff, the police officer, he must be enjoying Christmas. Let him enjoy alone. I'm not going to call any police officer over here. But now, get out of here as fast as you can. Leave my home. Leave my home as early as possible. Get out from here. But just as the man was opening the door, immediately the tramp, he turned back, and as he was about to open the door, the daughter, Edla Wilmanson, she interrupted in between and said, I think he ought to stay with us today. Oh dear father, I think so. He must stay along with us. I don't want him to go. I don't want that he should leave us. And with that, she went and closed the door. By saying these, she went outside and she closed the door. Okay? What in the world are you doing? Said the father. Oh, my dear daughter, what are you going to do in this world? The daughter stood there quite embarrassed. Embarrassed means sad. The daughter Edla Wilmanson, she was looking sad and hardly knew what to answer. She didn't know what to answer. She didn't know anything. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She was so happy at that time in the morning because she knew that one of the old friends of her father had come to their home and she was going to cook delicious food for him. But now she got sad when she came to know that the vagabond was not the friend of her father. That poor hungry wretch means beggar. That poor hungry beggar who was there, she was thinking that he was the friend of her father and she was going to cook delicious food for him. But now she came to know that he was simply a Rattrap seller. He was not the friend of her father. Now she got sad and disappointed. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. That's why she could not get idea in between. But one thing she knew, it was not the fault of the vagabond, it was the fault of her father. That's why she interrupted in between. I am thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. Edla will mention, she replied back to her father. Oh dear father, I am thinking about that Rattrap seller, this vagabond, this peddler. Now, he walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Daily, since morning till evening, till late night, he just kept moving on. He was moving and moving, going on, but not a place where he could feel relaxed. He could not find a place where he could take rest. And after all, this is the place where he had come in order to have an enjoyment. So let him enjoy. For the whole year he is moving in this way. No one welcomes him. No one feels happy to have a company for this vagabond, for this poor tramp. Whenever he turns, he is chased away. Means whenever he is turned over there, he is chased away. Means picha karna. People, they start chasing him in this way. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. Oh dear father, I simply want to make this man enjoy on the Christmas Eve celebration along with us. Let him enjoy delicious food. Let him enjoy sound sleep at least once in a year. Saal mein ek din on the Christmas Eve. Now, the iron master mumbled something in his beard. Iron master, the big beard he was having, mumbled means started speaking slowly. Budbudana. He started speaking slowly in his beard. The beard was moving when he was speaking. He could not bring himself to oppose her. Oppose means virodh karna. Clear? He did not want to intercept the feelings of his daughter, because Edla will mention she was as quite kind, as humble, as meek, that no one could deny her request. That's why even father, he could not deny. He couldn't deny the request of Edla, his oldest daughter. So then, it was all a mistake, of course, she continued. Now Edla will mention, she continuously speaking. It was after all a mistake. It was done by you, oh dear father. It was a mistake, I admit. But anyway, no problem. I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here. I don't think so that we should not chase this person. We should not insult this person. We should not run away behind this person whose mistake was not there. It is the mistake of us. It is a mistake of you, dear father, and you are going to give him punishment. What is this? This is not a humanity. Then, and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer, and to whom means this person was kept a promise the last night by you and us, that we would enjoy the Christmas celebration along with him. And now, on this Christmas morning, we are asking him to leave our home. Why? What's the reason behind it? You do preach worse than a parson. Parson means the priest in the church. Parson means priest of the church. Right. Priest of the church. You are praying very much the worst prayer you are doing. Worst means bahut buri, more than a parson. A parson, he never denies anyone to come into the church. But you are asking a vagabond to leave your home. Although it was not a mistake committed by the peddler, it was overall your mistake. What is this, dear father? God will not be happy because of your this activity. Now, I only hope that you won't to regret this. I am having an expectation that you would not deny me, that you would not regret about it. That means that you would allow this vagabond to enjoy food and sound sleep at our home at least for one day. The young girl took the stranger by the hand. She held the hand. Edla will mention she was holding the hand of the stranger and led him up to the dining table where the food was waiting for him. Come on, please come to there. Now sit down and eat. The Iron Master, he was telling his daughter, that means that you are more than a parson, that you are more than a priest in the church. So means I am obliged before you, I cannot deny. Then she was, after all, she was a kind-natured woman, kind-natured girl. And when Edla will mention, she got the consent of her father, that her father didn't have any objection. If I am going to offer him some food, if I am going to offer him some sound sleep, so definitely she held the hand of the Iron Master, the peddler, and went to the dining table. There food was being served by him. Right? Now sit down and eat, she said. Oh, vagabond, oh poor man, please be seated on the chair and start having the food. For she could see that her father had given in. She could see, given in means given the consent, that father, he didn't have any objection. He had got ready. He had given his consent, that he didn't have any problem. The man with the rat traps said not a word. The rat trap seller, not even a single word had been spoken by him. He only simply sat down on the chair and helped himself to enjoy the food. With the hands, he started eating the food. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. When he was eating the food, while eating the food, he was looking towards the girl in this way, who was helping him out, who was kind enough to him in this way. Why had she done it? He could not understand. I am unknown to her. Why she is doing a thing for a stranger? What could the crazy idea be? What kind of crazy idea she might be having in her mind? After that, Christmas Eve at Ramsjo passed just as it always had. After all, the Christmas celebration got started like every year at Ramsjo Iron Mill and Ramsjo's house. How it was celebrated every year. In the same manner, the procedure got started for celebration. The stranger didn't cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. The stranger, he didn't have any much botheration regarding it. He simply quite lying into the bed and enjoyed the sound sleep, nothing else. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest rooms and slept at one stretch. For the whole afternoon that he kept lying on a sofa by turning at one-sided, he was sleeping and enjoy his sound sleep. At the good Christmas fair in the evening, but after when he slept again, means he was getting up, eating, and then he was sleeping, then eating, then sleeping, then eating. This process continued till evening. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramsjo. It looked like that. For years after years, he had got an opportunity to have a sound sleep with safety only at Ramsjo Iron Master's house. Now in the evening, when the evening aroused, when the Christmas tree was lighted, celebration got started. They woke him again. Edla will mention, and the servants came nearby to the peddler and awoke him. Please get up, oh poor man, please get up, let's enjoy Christmas celebration. And he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. And he was blinking his eyes because the candlelights, so many candlelights were burning just before his eyes. The light of the candles, it was striking to his eyes. He had never seen such a delighting moment in his entire life. But after he disappeared again, 2 hours later he was aroused once more. After some time he went away from there, but after 2 hours later, once again he was dragged back. He was taken back. He then had to go down into the dining room. He had to go into the dining table for having food, delicious food, and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. Porridge means dalia, as I told you earlier. The porridge, hot porridge and fish, he was enjoying the delicious food. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. When he left the table after eating food, one after one he was coming to each and everyone for paying his vote of thanks to anyone and said good night to everyone. When he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. Then Edla will mention she told him that the suit which he was wearing, it belonged to the iron master, the father of Edla will mention, and it had been given by his father like a Christmas gift to him. Do not remove it and enjoy with these clothes. He was looking gentleman in that suit. He did not have to return it, no need to return it back. And if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace, means on the same place where you have enjoyed your peace in rest, your sound sleep, you have enjoyed good delicious food. If you had enjoyed, next year once again you are most welcome to enjoy the Christmas Eve along with us. We would be waiting for you. Then be sure that no evil would befall him and he would be welcome back once again. No, be sure that nothing would be harmed to you and you would be welcomed by us in the same manner, in the same grace. The man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this. The rat trap seller, he kept listening quietly to Edla Wilmanson. He didn't reply back to her. He only stared at the young girl in the boundless amazement. Amazement means surprised. He kept standing at a place by looking in continuity towards Edla Wilmanson. He was surprised. He was surprised, nothing else. He kept looking towards her. Okay. The next morning, the iron master and his daughter got up in a good season to go to the early Christmas service. Next morning, both father and daughter, iron master and Edla Wilmanson, they got up and they got ready to go to the church in their neighbor for their morning prayer. Their guest was still asleep. Guest means the peddler. He kept sleeping over there and they did not want to disturb him. When at about 10 o'clock they drove back from the church, the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. Means when both of them, they were coming back while sitting over there, and when she was driving and her hand was hanging in this way because she was looking embarrassed, she was not looking happy. Usually she used to be happy, but at that time she was not delighted. At church she had learned that one of the old crofters, why? What was the reason? Why Edla Wilmanson was not happy? Because at church, one of the old acquaintance of, like he was old crofter, okay, of the iron works. I told you the old crofter where the peddler had taken the shelter just for a night. There he was the farmer, he was the crofter of Ramsjo iron mill, clear? And he had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. Means that he had been robbed by a person who used to roam from one place to another in order to sell his product of nonsense rat traps. Clear? So up to here for today itself it's sufficient. The rest of all portion we'll study in the next video. So please students, keep watching these videos and ask your queries and send my queries in the WhatsApp group in which you have already been added. Clear? So have a nice day. Till then, thank you so much. Namaskar.